Hey everyone, how's it going? Glad to have you all joining us from around the world. If you're new here, welcome to the family. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Alright, so it's becoming more and more obvious that the Russia-Ukraine war is escalating. Any talk about peace or de-escalation seems to be just smoke and mirrors at this point. Today we've got a bunch of things showing that tensions are still rising. New weapons are being sent over. Suddenly Trump is all soft on Zelensky and sending him new arms. And on the other side, Russia is making serious military moves near NATO borders. President Putin has also been dropping subtle hints about nuclear weapons. Peace out, folks. Hope you're doing well. But seriously, when we talk about escalation, it's not out of nowhere. Everything I'm saying is backed by very reliable sources, like the New York Times, Newsweek, Russia's TASS agency, and the Wall Street Journal. Let's start with a key article from Newsweek, which discusses the growing likelihood of war between Russia and NATO. And it's not just speculation, it's based on 4 clear signs.
First, Russia has ramped up its military presence, not in Ukraine, but along its own borders, especially near Finland and Norway. You all know that Russia shares northern borders with some Scandinavian countries, and now they're boosting their forces up there. Second, Russia is reportedly building a massive, heavily fortified command center close to the Finnish border. This could be for coordination in case a war actually breaks out. I'm not saying they will go to war, but Western analysts are pretty paranoid whenever they hear Putin's name, so this kind of speculation kicks in. Third, intelligence agencies in Germany and Lithuania believe Putin is preparing for possible confrontation with NATO around 2030. And it's not just them. NATO countries themselves feel that Russia is gearing up for something big. For example, there's satellite and intel data showing a massive increase in Russian weapons and ammo production, including tanks. But the weird part is they're not sending most of it to Ukraine. So where's it all going? They're stockpiling it, maybe planning ahead. Now, logically, if I'm fighting someone and I know they're getting constant help from a group behind the scenes, it only makes sense to prepare myself for the moment when I might face that group directly. That's what analysts believe Russia is doing. Fourth, Russia is expanding its army. Putin raised the number to over 1 million soldiers. Plus, Russian submarines and Navy ships have been spotted near key global undersea internet cables. Some analysts say that if a war breaks out, Russia might try to cut those cables to create massive global disruption. Imagine no internet, no YouTube videos from Mohammed Assam, no likes, no nothing. That would be a serious loss, so while you're still online, don't forget to drop a like.
Let's move on to another big topic. Zelensky and the Patriot missile systems. Zelensky has been begging for them forever. Please, Trump, just give me the Patriot system. And you know Trump used to treat him like a moody dad. Tough love. But now, Trump's suddenly warming up to him, even calling him Zakaluk. Zelensky asked, "How'd you know that name?" Trump replied, "I watch Mohammed Assam's videos." Anyway, the point is the US is finally agreeing to send more Patriot systems to Ukraine. One of them is currently in Israel undergoing maintenance. It's not brand new, fresh out of a US factory, but it's still valuable. The other one is coming from Greece. Though with the recent attack on Ben Gurion Airport, who knows if Israel will still hand it over to the US? Depends on when the article was written, before or after that strike. For reference, Ukraine currently has 8 Patriot systems. 6 are operational, and 2 were knocked out by Russian strikes. Just so you know, each system reportedly costs about $1 billion, and each one needs over 90 soldiers to operate. So yeah, Ukraine getting more of these systems is a big deal. So what does that mean? Russia is mass-producing weapons while Ukraine's stocking up too. What peace are we even talking about? So basically, if you connect the dots, Russia is constantly ramping up weapons production, and Ukraine keeps receiving more and more weapons. And you're still talking to me about peace? Come on.
Now let me tell you what's actually going down on the ground today. Russia just announced a major new wave of attacks. According to their latest updates, they've launched a massive strike using both aircraft and missiles on a wide range of military targets inside Ukraine. Factories, military facilities, workshops, weapons and ammo depots, and industrial zones. They even hit facilities that produce Neptune missile launchers, the ones used for naval strikes. So this was a serious attack, launched from the early hours of the morning until sunrise. Russia wants to cripple Ukraine's defenses and reduce its military capabilities. But of course, on the flip side, the US and NATO keep supplying Ukraine with weapons, so the situation just keeps escalating. But Ukraine didn't sit still either. Today, they hit a factory called Sterla in the Bryansk region of Russia. That factory makes electromechanical parts, like chips used in radar systems and components for military equipment, like tanks and computers. It was a significant strike. Now, speaking of the Russian forces, especially Ramzan Kadyrov, the Chechen leader, he announced that his Akhmat special forces, along with Russian troops, foiled an attempted Ukrainian infiltration. Like seriously, these guys thought they could sneak in like it's their house and they're trying not to wake their dad at 2 a.m. But no, the Russians caught them, there was a shootout, and some Ukrainian soldiers were killed. The rest ran off like, "Run, Magdi, run!"
And now let's move on to the big story. President Putin. He gave a special interview today from his house, broadcast on Russia's Channel 1. They even described his place. It has white walls, big art pieces, indoor plants, the whole presidential vibe. Anyway, during the interview, Putin talked about nuclear weapons. He said that Russia has been provoked multiple times with nuclear threats, but made it clear that Russia can win the war in Ukraine without using nukes at all. That's what he said. It sounds like he's trying to reassure the West. But of course he didn't stop there. He added, "Of course, if we're forced into it, we might have no choice but to use nuclear weapons. It'd be tough, but we'd be forced to." Now look, this kind of statement can be interpreted in two different ways. One, it could be a message of reassurance to the international community, saying, "Look, we've been provoked before and haven't used nukes." But two, it could also be a veiled threat, kind of a warning, or a pressure tactic. So when you take everything going on, the Russian moves, NATO's expectations of a possible strike, the back-and-forth attacks, and the constant arms shipments, it all feels like a high-stakes game of pressure and leverage. Looks like both sides are building their hands for upcoming negotiations. Could they work? Maybe, maybe not. Who's going to win at the negotiating table? The one who applies more pressure? The one who leaves the other side breathless, so to speak? That's where this war is heading. We don't really know the endgame yet.
Honestly, with everything Trump's been doing lately, I'm starting to feel more uncertain now than I did back when Biden was in charge. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Here at S News, we're committed to bringing you fair and traditional news. See you in the next video.